Welcome back to the Daily Doji. This is technical analysis, Elliott Wave theory. Today we're looking at the S&P 500, Bitcoin. Let me just show you all the charts I have up, and then if you want to see any in detail, I can do a video specifically. I'll just do a quick run through of everything you see here. So there's Ripple, or as I call it, ZERP. That's an inside joke. Gold, silver, BONK, Solana, Doge, SHIB, Hex, Ethereum, Crow, Luna, Matic, Etsy, Snapchat, Google, GoPro, Decentraland. Wow, okay, so I'm not going to do all these, but Zylab, iRhythm, Meta Platforms, Cardano, Mana, Shopify, PayPal, and Apple. So this is just what I have up. Doesn't mean that I'm recommending any of them or that I'm necessarily trading them. And I definitely don't recommend following advice or trying to copy trade people. But I'm just doing this for fun. I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that. So I've been doing Elliott Waves for over 5 years now, and I love it for my personal reasons. Okay, so this is the daily chart. Let's go to full screen on the S&P. So if you look at this, this is only back to 1994. There's a different chart that goes all the way back 100 years, over 100 years, and that one is better to look at for the long term. I always start with the long-term chart first, and then gradually go to the shorter term. So the thing about if you're watching like investing on TV or anything like that is that they only show you like really close up and you can't really get any information. Like they'll just show you just this, which is not the information you need. You need all the way back so that you can count the Elliott waves and see where you're at in the cycle. And obviously, well, I've been saying that that was the top before, and then, well, I had it drawn on here for the longest time. I had done videos explaining this. This is probably markups I had done in a video. So, okay, well, my count is right there already from one of my old videos. This is one possible scenario. This isn't the only possible scenario. In Elliott Wave corrective waves, there's more than one possible corrective pattern. But even though this might not be exactly it, this is just one prediction. And the more these waves play out, the more info we'll be able to get. So I'll be able to figure out if this ends up being wrong, then I will go to the next correct thing. Because in Elliott waves, it can't be wrong unless it's manipulated. So well, that's another story. But if a count is wrong, it's just the wrong count. But I guess I'll just leave it at this. This is my count. So far, this is still in play. All right, let's move on. Gold and silver. Gold is going up to, and looks like it wants to make a new high. This is very interesting. And silver down here it could potentially be a bull flag right here. Keeping an eye on it. And the gold-silver ratio was insanely out of control. It's going back kind of down. Historically, this is really high right now, even still. All right, let's move on to BONK and Solana. I've been following these. On Twitter, and there is really no long-term chart with BONK. It's really new. So it does go back a little bit further, but it is pretty much brand new. It just came out around Christmas, maybe on Christmas. And then it had a run up, and I'm tracking this correction, but I'm on the 1 hour chart. So if you go on like the daily, there's barely anything. That's it. That's all we've got so far. So this is still very new. I'm expecting probably either that was the correction or another wave down, and then might rocket again. I mean, barely anyone knows about this. I'm not recommending it or anything. I'm just because I'm interested in something doesn't mean my risk tolerance might be more than yours. And I don't trade with money that I can't afford to lose. So that's why I'm okay during a bear market, because I wasn't all in at the wrong time. And then Solana has been going longer, so let's check this full screen. Oops, did that work? All right, it's taken some time, probably because I'm recording it. All right, so let's look at the daily. Okay. So this particular chart on KuCoin only goes back this far, but I think that Solana existed before that. So it looks like there was probably a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks like it was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the top over there way back in November a couple years ago. And then it looks like an ABC coming down, and then 1, 2, 3 sideways. This is possible that the bottom was already in on this. This is one that bottomed before everything else. I was keeping an eye on Doge, but as you'll see here in a minute, well, let's compare Doge really quick because I want to show you something. Okay, I guess this is probably the last video I made, and then I'm keeping track of this sideways 1, 2, 3, which is not bullish. Even though it went up a lot, it doesn't look like a Elliott Wave impulse, which is 5 waves going up. It doesn't look like that. But that doesn't mean it can't rocket again right here, maybe up to like 20 cents. Like a 1, 2, 3 sideways, coming up to at least 15 again. That's kind of what I'm looking for. But if it goes down another wave, I would not be shocked either, because I am expecting more bear market, because just this doesn't look like a turnaround. Even though it spiked right here, didn't really look like the bottom unless that it tried to bottom right there. But if you look at Solana, it bottomed differently, and it looks more like a bottom. However, I'm not totally sold that it's over. But now that I'm talking about it, we're right on the 200. So this white line right here is the 200 EMA on the daily chart. That, if it stays above this line, it is a bull market. I think that's one of the ways to count. If it stays above these moving averages, we're good to go. But we'll see. It's right trying to come back down below it right now. So this is a very testing period right now. If we can, it might come back down maybe and bounce again, and then if it comes back above and stays above that white line, that's a nice that's what kind of thing I'm looking for. However, I'm still weary and careful. It's better that way anyway. All right. So let's check out. I just looked at Doge, and then SHIB. Let's look at SHIB full screen. Shiba Inu. I never call it Shiba Inu. I always just call it SHIB. It sounds so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. Does that keep me from dabbling? No. Okay, so this was never really a bull market ever. That looks like a 1, 2, 3. Now, there could be prehistoric info before it was listed on KuCoin, but this is all just corrective. But was this the bottom down here? It looks kind of like Doge in the 1, 2, 3. It's a little bit of a different shape, but there's not a very good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because I'm just not seeing it. I'm seeing a 1, a 2, and a 3. Then it came back down. This could be, I think there's one wave, more wave up to maybe 20 or whatever 0.00019 or something like that, 18-ish. Because this went 1, 2, 3 and then came down 1, 2, 3, and it looks like it's doing another 1 sideways right now, and then maybe one more wave up, which would make like a 1, 2, 3 going sideways. Does that make sense? And then maybe we'll get the final wave down. I don't know. This one, there's no clear bullishness yet. All right, let's move on. Hex, wow, this is really a marathon video. If you're sticking with me all this way, thank you so much for watching. I have a course where I teach how to set this up like this, and how to set up alerts, and how to set up how to read the RSI and the MACD and the Elliott waves, pretty much. And it's up on Udemy. I just put it up on there. I had it on a different website a couple years ago, and then now it's up on Udemy. And I marked it to be $200, but I think they're doing like an automatic discount at the very beginning just because my account is new. So one person already grabbed it, and I think then they're raising the price automatically each time there's a new customer until it gets to the amount that I set it at. But it's hard for me to control, but I think the next person to grab it at the current price, I think the price is going to go up after that. So if you are interested, it's pretty reasonable. I would say dirt cheap, actually, for the value that's in there. I wanted to charge way more, but there's an automatic discount. So snag it up. Take advantage of it. All right, well, I don't see anything interesting really in Hex. Ethereum is doing kind of the same as Doge and SHIB. It looks a little bit more like a 5-wave than they do. Like this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's not the cleanest. It's not the cleanest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I've ever seen. So we'll see. But it looks like there could be some upside, though. If there's a 1, 2, 3 going sideways, and then it could still continue the bear market, but it could do a bump right here with another wave up. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Ethereum is above the 200 moving average, that white line. That is a bullish indicator. A lot of people are going, if it goes up at all, they automatically start going bullish. They're perma-bulls. I'm definitely not a perma-bull. I'm not a perma-bear, but I'm not a perma-bear because that would go against Elliott waves. Elliott waves, there's always some progress. But you can see with Ethereum a good clean 5 waves. This is a good teachable moment. I teach obviously much more in detail in my course, but this is just, let me find, it's been a while since I went live, and now I can't find the indicator I want. Okay, Elliott wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, you can't get any better than that. It's pretty much as clear as day. So that is a classic Elliott wave. So for people that say Elliott wave doesn't apply to crypto, crypto is new. It's new and the old way isn't real. Well, guess what? Elliott wave doesn't just, it tracks nature. So as long as you're a human, it can predict. All right, let's move on. This is pretty much, I mean, 1, 2, 3. I see the same things across everything. Oh, Etsy looks a little different. Oh man, did I snag any at the bottom? I hope I did. Because this was one. Etsy was rocking during the, everything's going digital. I've been using Etsy before. So I've used it. It's a pretty good, decent website. I'm not totally into it, and I don't know that much about it. But as far as fundamentals go, I usually don't even talk about fundamentals on here. I usually just talk about the chart. So I'm going to continue just talking about the chart. I'll leave the fundamentals to someone else. Charlie Munger. He was on Twitter, or someone was quoting him saying that that they should outlaw crypto or something. Which, I mean, there's a whole debate about that. A lot of people say you can't. I'm not seeing, I mean, Snapchat, is anyone even using that anymore? If it ever recovers, it looks pretty good of a buy, but I don't even use it anymore, and I don't know if anyone does, so that might not be a good buy for the fundamental reasons. I'm not sure. If you know anything about it, let me know in the comments. Decentraland, ooh, I mean, this has been in the juicy zone for a while. This is one that I was keeping an eye on, even though no one was using it, but it has a lot of future promise depending on what happens in the gaming and crypto gaming space. Google looks like it did a 5-wave down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if this is part of an ABC correction, if that was wave 1, and this is wave 2 right here, and wave 3 could be, oof, brutal. How low can you go? This is probably a good time to use a Fibonacci retracement tool. It's getting pretty late when I'm recording this, and I've been working all day. So if I sound like I'm dragging on, it's not because I don't like doing this. It's just because I've been going today. All right, where's the Fibonacci tool? I'll leave it for the next video. Or can I drag this from one chart to another? I don't think it'll let me. Oops. Accidentally didn't mean to do that. Unedited. All right, last couple. Xylab. I don't even know why I'm following this. Did someone point it out to me? I mean, it looks like it bottomed out. It looks like there was an RSI signal right around here to signal that buy. There was a decent trade right there. Oh, it doubled. Not too bad. It looks like it's doing the sideways action also. Man, Facebook did, look at this. I had this potentially, now this wasn't necessarily my count. I was just doing an example, but look what happened. 0.786 Fibonacci line, nailed it. That's why people use these Fibonacci levels. And that looks like it could have been actually a 5-wave down. If this is wave B, B waves are tricky. It could come up, it could be done. That could have been it. And this could be back to what? Who knows? Wave 2s can go all the way back to 0 and still go back up. So, I mean, what did it start at? 13 bucks? It's not out of the question. It's definitely bearish right now. See that 200 EMA I was talking about earlier? We're not up to it yet. So this B wave could do funny things, though. It could come all the way up here and then come back down. So it's going to have to... But right now, it looks like it's going to maybe reject off of the 200. Let's see what happens with this one. This is just a potential pattern it could make. That's not necessarily what I'm expecting it to do. It could do more of a sideways action like that. Oops. Could do something like that. But it sure looks like a 5-wave down for that first. That looks like the first wave down is done. And now this is the next wave, which, you know, it's hard to, it's a trap. A B wave can really trick you. From my personal experience, B waves, I call them the B wave from hell. There was one in Doge, I remember, that was crazy. People that are still holding from this giant dump, they can try to escape on the B wave. That's why it's psychologically, the higher it goes. People that bought at the bottom got a good trade, But even just from the bottom to now, that was a good trade. That was over double. Nice. And then Shopify looks like it's doing the same thing. Boom, came down. Now it's doing its next wave, which it's a counter trend wave up. It's not a bull market wave up. It's a corrective wave that corrective waves go sideways and they go up and down, up and down. So they're not as easy to track. And PayPal is doing a similar thing. Looks pretty bottomed out. It hasn't recovered as much as Shopify yet. I wonder if it will. Are people still using it? That could be this. PayPal didn't bounce like Facebook and Shopify yet. So this could be something right there. It could bump and reject off the bottom of that 200 like the other ones did. Let's go to the daily chart. Well, right now the daily is at the 200. It's right on top of it. If it stays on top of it, there might be some kind of B wave coming up. But that's not a guarantee. It's tricky. All right, that's it for this video. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you want to see more. Let me know any symbols you want me to do in the next video. And I will get back to doing the daily dojis. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching and sticking with me during my break. I had to sort my main channel out. And now that I got, my goals done from last year, I finished a book I was writing. I have another book that I wrote in 2015 that I want to finish this year, actually. So we'll see what happens. But Happy New Year. Have a wonderful day on purpose. Peace. Trade at your own risk also.